Mr. Rex Dog, the best dog. Say hi to the peeps.
Yo, 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 what it do, guys? As always, yours truly, Joe Che. Back with John Mana and Rex the dog. Today we're going to be interviewing a really dope social entrepreneur that is facilitating environmentally friendly music events. So I'll let him introduce himself.
Yes, sir. What's up? It's John Mana. Host of the Flow State Festival series. I also do many other things, so just tap in with me, see all the different facets, peel back the layers. I'm really happy to be here. I've been watching your videos; they're really awesome, and I'm excited to get it going.
Yeah, awesome, bro. I'm so glad to have you on here, bro. And let's get into it. Yeah. To start off, the bread and butter of every business. How important is creating a business plan and to you, into the creation and success of your business?
Yeah, it's important, man. We were just talking previously about, money management, and if you can't manage $10,000, how do you expect to manage $1 million, So money is a resource, understanding that first and foremost and not stressing over money, but at the same time realistically making a plan for where the money goes so that it comes back. So where I'm putting this money in here now so that at this expected date I can see a return, you know what I'm saying? And also a big part of it too is not being discouraged if you don't get that full return right away, because you have to stick through things and you have to be patient and you have to work with it. So being realistic with your goals is something that I've learned is really helpful. Being realistic with your goals, always having a strategy of where that money's coming back, and putting money into things that will truly be building you for the longevity for the future.
Yeah, when I create a plan, it's exactly what you said. I have that financial plan and have where the money's going, and then I kind of have the more mission focused plan on how I'm gonna get there, and the things that don't really that money doesn't matter. The money will come. This is what I'm gonna do with it. Mm-hmm. So it's really just about creating all of those different plans. So you were talking about money and stuff like that, and I know that can definitely be a huge challenge in startup companies and stuff like that. So just if that has played a role, or what are just some of the other things that have played challenges in your journey so far?
Yeah, there's some challenges, man. So for me, planning music festivals, right? So a big thing with planning music festivals is obviously locking down the venue. If you guys have followed Flow State, you know that we had something happen where we locked down a venue.
Shout out the Flow State Instagram right now.
Yeah, flowstate.events. It is flowstate.events. We do flow arts, we do eco-friendly, that's our whole entire mission, is to do the same thing that you've been doing, but to do it eco-friendly, to do a great music festival. Also, we add workshops like breathwork, meditation, sound healing, yoga, these different things that I might. Another thing too is I want these things in my life. I want to enrich my life with things. I could only imagine the community would love it too. So that's where we come from with that. But locking down the venue, man. So we had a venue and they pulled the contract on us. Whoa, last minute, right? So admittedly, back and forth, there's on both sides of the fence, there's things that could have been done better. But when something like this happens, when an obstacle like this pops up, you could fold, you could quit, or you could just go 10 times harder. And that's what I choose to do all of the time. As long as my heart's in it, as long as I care about it. That's another thing, man. If you want to build a business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to have your whole entire heart in it. This has to be your life, you know what I mean, for you to be successful. So you might as well do something you love doing. I'm an artist, I'm a musician, I love music. I love when my community comes together. I love seeing people happy, and like I mentioned too, I love learning about these things too, so that's why I incorporate things. And don't be afraid to hire a professional yoga teacher, a professional Reiki healer, rather than somebody who is entry level, because it will make that big difference.
It does make a difference.
That's like money management. You have to put your money into things that will provide true value to your audience and make them feel safe and make them feel taken care of, rather than just skimping on things like that. So, but yeah, there's a lot of obstacles that you could
and it's just about always overcoming them and just rising to the occasion every time you have to.
Right. In a nutshell, just you could either quit or you could go harder. If you're passionate about what you're doing, you're gonna go harder every time. So that's where I come from. Yeah,
that kind of leads into the next thing. Where did your passion for entrepreneurship and kind of this kind of business model, where did it spark from?
So I've been really into music like my whole life, obviously.
Yeah, I actually met you as like an artist.
Right. Yeah. And I love what you guys are doing with Every Reason to Help, and like
Yeah, we've definitely gone through our shifts as well.
I believe it,
Yeah.
bro. I believe it. And for being from afar and watching it, you handle it well. You know what I'm saying? And you never gave up, right? You never quit. So like it might look a little different now than it did at the beginning. The idea and the vision stays the same, but like the physical means of how it's coming to life might change a little bit.
That's exactly. You have to pivot, and it's not like the environmentalism aspect and the passion for like beating plastic pollution and stuff like has always been there. But like it's just like we pivoted probably 5 times exactly like on how we're going to get there, and kind of we've gone through like our different passions and stuff like that to like find which one of them will kind of relate best to the goal that we want to get.
Yeah, it's important, man. It's really important because you can't rush it. At the same time, you can't be complacent, and you have to find the formula that works. So sometimes the first thing you do, like 50% of it works, 50% of it didn't. But the goal is the next time, 70% works.
To keep that 50% running and realize the good that's working, and then cut the fat.
Add to it, add to it, so then you get that 50 up to maybe 70, up to maybe 80. And striving for progress rather than perfection in the very first moment is going to be cool. Like, that goes back to what we were saying about being realistic. Like, keep realistic goals. But manageable goals, and sometimes a little bit of ambitious, but like realistic and ambitious at the same time, because you don't want to get complacent, you don't want to just not move, but you also don't want to shoot for the stars and then end up like overexerting yourself.
Exactly.
So that's an obstacle that I faced. Like, we shot for the stars. Like, we were shooting for like this huge music festival with like a very large budget, and there were so many working parts, and it honestly, like, it will happen in the future. But right now, I just realized after performing other events and going place to place, and as time went on, I realized that what I'm doing is more about community rather than about a large number of people in the audience.
You can't focus on having a bunch of people in the audience. You have to focus on building an event that is going to attract a bunch of people of a certain niche to your event. And it's kind of like, it's exactly what you were saying in the car, how you kind of, now you were kind of struggling at first to get the first venue locked up, but now you have 3 venues. Like, you have 3 festivals like now lined up for the entire future. Like, and you're gonna get another one, and it's like always having that vision. Well,
I'm trying to mute my phone.
Nah, it's all good.
There's another flow state call, but it's all groovy. But yeah, it's like, that's a great point, dude. Like, if the venue didn't pull out on us last minute and we didn't have to struggle and go through things, like, I wouldn't have all these connections that I have now. I wouldn't have like different venues that honestly, like, it's the vision is the same, like I mentioned, and so here's the vision, right? Is to do a music festival where people can express themselves, be free to do whatever they want. At the same time, have it eco-friendly so people learn, through action, not through preaching, not through teaching. People learn through action that they can spend an entire weekend without plastic. You know what I'm saying? Shh, easy, Bubba. But yeah, so like that's the vision. And if we do it a little bit... Yeah, that's Rex Talk, the best talk. Follow him on Instagram. Get down, Bubba. Go ahead, get down. But yeah, the vision stays the same, but the way it looks might be a little different. And so the vision is to really Rex, we love you, but we're trying to talk. It's all good. But the vision is to really just do it, man, and to do it for the community, do it for the culture, and to have fun, and like at the same time through action and through example, we're making the change. We're not just like saying about it or talking about it. We're doing it. Like, we did that beach cleanup together. That was amazing. Now, when this proceeds from this Flow State Festival come in, I'm putting a little portion to the side just to do another beach cleanup with you guys. And then I also have a little other portion on the side just to donate to Billy's New Hope Animal Shelter and Farm. So like, if this one situation that could be looked at as a huge bump in the road, it could be looked at as a catastrophe, losing your venue, oh my God. But no, I choose not to look at it that way.
It's a hurdle.
I trust it. I just trust that things are shaking out the way that they're supposed to. I met amazing people since then, and we're keeping going. And people, you can't be concerned about the popular opinion. You can't be concerned about what people say, because all that you have to do is try your best.
Yeah.
If you're truly putting your heart into it and you're trying the hardest that you possibly can try, it's all on the table. You have nothing to worry about, you know? And if your best isn't good enough in that one moment, that doesn't mean that you're not valid. It doesn't mean that it's not good enough for the future. It just means that you need to go back to the drawing board. You might only have 50%. Right?
Yeah.
You might just have to keep that 50% and add on to it at that point, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so you were kind of just going over this, but then the next thing is kind of, how are you and your like company putting people over profits? And like you just explained it like in 15 different ways, but like it kind of just like briefly go over it again, because like that's the key component to social entrepreneurship. It like putting money aside and like making the decisions that like you're not going to focus on having more people in your audience, that you're going to focus on creating the culture to then hopefully grow into something bigger.
Yeah. So any business, right? Your first couple of years, what do you expect to do with all of your proceeds? You put them right back.
You better
into
reinvest
the business.
it.
You put it right back into the business. So with that mindset, you know, obviously it's important to bring in some money. Obviously it's important to be able to sustain the business. But if all the money's going right back into the business, now putting people over profit, how can I do both at the same time? And a really cool answer to that is, you know, spending the extra dollars on hiring that extremely talented 15 years of experience Reiki practitioner master, instead of hiring somebody for a fraction of the cost who doesn't have that experience. Because what that does is that takes your budget, reinvests it into your festival in my case, but at the same time it shows the audience, it brings the audience and shows them by example.
It isn't just your friend who's doing back massages. Like this is something real.
This
like,
is energy work. You know what I'm saying? Like this is extremely potent, powerful healing.
Yeah.
And so when you really expose people to it at that level, even if it's only 300 people for the first event, right? Next event could be 400, next event could be 4,000. You know what I'm saying? Like but you're building yourself on a foundation for success, because you're taking the extra time to hire people, to put people in the right position that, and you know, let's be honest, like we're young dudes. There's a lot of things that we haven't done yet.
Nah.
But there's a lot of people out there that can help us.
I even for my job, like I'm doing marketing stuff online right now, but we just hired a sales manager, and shout out to Doc, if he even watches this.
What's up, Doc?
Yeah, what's up,
Peace,
Doc?
bro.
But Doc is a solid 28, but he's like really like 48. But he always says it as a joke or something like that. But like his experience alone has like literally sparked like our drive, and like he hired already so many new sales associates, and just like the experience of training a real team, like all us 20. I'm 19, but like my boss is literally 24, and like the other dude is like 23 or something like that. Like we've never had an experience of hiring a full sales team and a full sales force.
Yep.
But like this dude has 25 years, more than each of us have been alive.
Wow, that's intense.
And so, but like it just goes to show that like investing in those long-term things and those things that are really gonna like, that might be more expensive now, but that might have a better outcome in the future, like are just going to pay dividends.
Absolutely. And I'm happy that you have that mindset too, because like it's something that you might have to experience to believe.
No, I personally definitely had to get over the fact that like I didn't know everything myself, and that like
me too, bro.
I've really only been experiencing things like as an adult and as like a conscious like woke person, whatever that means, as like 2 years, literally like 2.5 years. I'm a baby in like adulthood and entrepreneurship.
Same, dude. I feel a similar way. It's like, but we were talking too, like the older you get, the better you do things. But that happens with a plan. That happens with the intention. It starts here. It's like I'm telling myself that I'm going to absorb the useful information. I'm telling myself that I'm going to grow. I'm going to be better. How do I do that? Sometimes I put people in the position to help me that have been there before. Sometimes I just, trust that I could do it myself and maybe make some mistakes, but I know that it's a situation where I can afford to make this mistake now, because if it's something where, we were talking about energy work, I would never pretend to know how to do energy work if I haven't done it. But if it's something like, building a flyer, like I'll go ahead and try to make a flyer.
And step up and make the flyer. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So things like that, yeah.
Definitely. So just getting into kind of the last thing I wanted to go over is how are you planning to take Flow State and expand it into the future? Like you mentioned like the 300 person event, then the 400 person or the 500 person event, then the 4,000 person event. What is next? Like what experiences are you going to bring alongside the Reiki and alongside the sustainability and like how do you just want to grow? Like,
Yeah, for sure. So, I love doing this, but
Yeah.
my passion is truly as an artist. My passion is truly to be the artist. So, I see myself running these festivals for the rest of the summer. You know, we have our schedule rolled out. I see it going really well, doing a really awesome job. And maybe taking a rest for the winter, focusing on myself as an artist, focusing, you know, working as an audio engineer is what I do, bringing in some more money, and then coming back next summer. So I see it like being an annual thing. I see it being a year, once
every year.
maybe like 4 or 5 events a year, but they're all in the summer. You know what I'm saying? So they're all like a summer kind of like annual. You know, we have one big annual event, and then we have a bunch of other like medium-sized, smaller events. For expansion, I performed at the Lighthouse Gathering last weekend. Some people here might know, some people may not. Shout out to Eliana, Priyanka, everybody at the Lighthouse Gathering. Really amazing people. Essentially, what I brought out of that event was they had, you know, a medium-sized crowd, maybe like 200 to 250 people. It was amazing. It was phenomenal. Everybody got a chance to be seen, to be heard. I really got a lot more out of that event than I might have gotten out of like a Bonnaroo or like a Firefly. I got so much out of this event with 300 people, you know, 250 people, because I was able to impact them. My music was able to be received and heard, and everybody had the chance to come up to you afterward and talk to you. It's not like a mob of people, it's not crazy crowded, and I really like that. So I do see us expanding and doing larger events with larger amounts of people, but I'm very inspired to keep doing the community gathering festival, to keep doing the 300 person size, because you know, it's special.
There's a different level of connection you can get from that.
So much deeper and so much like, oh man, it's special. You know, I mean, it's always special every time you perform, but like when you're able to actually connect with people on that type of level, and it's not just like stage to crowd, it's more just like stage to individual after individual after individual, and like, you know, it's a special feeling. So, you know, also when you do workshops in an event like that, everybody has a chance to participate. You know, some people might miss it if there's 4,000 people at an event, and you know, the
you have multiple different stages,
exactly,
and different things going on.
So when you do workshops, when you do like we do like community breath and breath working, like you could do that with the entire crowd over the microphone on the stage, and people will be able to receive that. People will be able to like partake in that, and everybody feels taken care of, and it's, you know, so I see us growing and I see us doing big things in the future, but, you know, reasonable, realistic, and a little bit ambitious too. Let's fucking sell out a 300 person crowd, and let's do it the best possible way that we possibly can. Let's put all of our resources, even if we have that surplus of money, even because we have a nice budget, like even if we have more money, like we could afford to do a bigger venue, we're choosing to do the smaller because we're choosing to put that extra money into amenities, into comfort, into hospitality, into workshops. So I would say that like what we're doing now is pretty great, and if we want to scale it up, I would just say do the exact same thing, just a little bit bigger each time, not to just take
and just keep fine-tuning it.
Yeah, just keep fine-tuning it, right? Exactly, because you can really learn a lot about yourself and about like your business by going through the motions, like not in a bad way, in a great way, like going through the motions with a manageable size. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not going through the motions like being lazy or whatever. You're going through the motions saying
systematically,
saying like scalability. You're going through the motions saying that like, all right, because I already had the plan. The plan was for over 1,000 people, so I already have that large scale plan in the bank. Like it's on my computer right there. Like I have it's hours and hours and hours of tireless work on it, right? Then now that I'm scaling it down, that's what I mean when I'm referring to going through the motions in a smaller scale. Is like, we have this all set up for a huge event. Let's do it here in this size, this container, and do it as great as we possibly can. Yeah.
straight up, bro.
Straight up, bro.
Yeah.
It's a ceremony. You have to usher the energy of the ceremony, and that takes practice and that takes time. And I'm thankful to have the experience, and I feel confident as a performer and as an artist and as an MC. But this festival is a different skill too. So like a lot of those skills translate, but to usher a whole entire festival, that's powerful. And I'm thankful for my team, dude. I'm thankful for everybody behind me. I'm thankful for everybody who buys tickets, everybody who comes out, volunteers, food vendors, you know, anybody who's doing workshops with us, like companies like you, like nonprofits like you know, like people that just care. and people who care about the sustainability, care about the earth, and are really trying to like see this happen for their future, so they align with our vision and help it happen in our future as well. You know.
No, straight up. The only way to get there is to create a community around you and to truly bring everybody up to build a support system and a foundation underneath yourself. So I really appreciate you coming on here, bro.
Thank you.
And
Rockstar. No more, Bubba. Get down, baby. Get down.
yeah. So I really appreciate you coming up on here and coming out for an interview, bro. And definitely, you guys make sure to check out Flow State Events on Instagram, probably on Facebook. You guys got a website, everything.
Yeah.
I'll definitely make sure to link everything below in the description. And hopefully we will see you guys at Flow State, and we'll definitely have you on for another show, bro. Best of luck to you, yeah.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, sir. And also, yeah, I just want to say thank you guys too, man. Thank you for tuning in. You know, support Joe with what he's doing, and support Flow State, and it comes back. You know what I mean? It comes full circle.
It always does, yeah.
You know, every time that we sell a ticket, we're taking a percentage and we're putting it into beach cleanups with Every Reason to Help, and we're also putting it into to donate to Billy's New Hope Animal Shelter, which we're going to throw an event there in September. So it's an animal shelter that takes care of all different animals from all different walks of life, all different injuries or ailments, and they take care of them. So, you know, the money's appreciated, and you're voting with your dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could put $350 into Firefly Festival, is probably more than that, or you could put $90 into Flow State, come and have a great time, and that money goes back into other people too.
Into creating beneficial.
Yeah,
stuff.
we're building the community here, and you guys are a part of it, and I really appreciate it, and I'm really thankful. You know, so yeah.
So we will catch you guys.
We'll catch you guys.
Peace.
Peace.